the heck's happened to Opko Health, OPK, the $5.2 billion biotech company that also has a major sideline in making diagnostic tests? At the beginning of June, Opko stock had roared up more than 90% year to date, based on the strength of its diagnostic and pharmaceutical businesses. But in the last few months, the stock has lost more than half of its value, trading from $19 down to $9 and change, turning negative for the year. The reason? Back on June 3rd, Opko announced that it's acquiring a full-service clinical laboratory company called BioReference Laboratories. That was for $1.47 billion in an all-stock transaction. We know that Wall Street got turned off by this deal. Opko stock sank 15% the day it was announced, and its stock has been going lower ever since. And that's why tonight, I want to give Opko a chance to make the case for this BioReference Labs acquisition, because this company is smart and its CEO is among the smartest people I know. So let's take a closer look with Dr. Phillip Frost, the chairman and CEO of Opko Health, hear more about this deal and his company's prospects. Dr. Frost, welcome back to Mad Money.
Thank you, Jim. Pleasure to be here.
Sir, we understand that immunotherapy, we understand that many of the breakthrough drugs, we understand that so much of research depends on laboratories and actually having data. BioReference Lab was probably the best at it. I give the floor to you to explain to me why this deal makes so much sense.
Well, first of all, let me say that in all my years of being in the pharmaceutical business, this is probably the best and most interesting acquisition I've ever made. First of all, we realized a 14% dilution in our equity with this acquisition. What did we get? We got $1 billion in revenues, approximately $100 million in operating income, and we have access to a sales force and infrastructure that will help make our 4K score test one of the most important tests in the history of the diagnostics business. It has that potential.
And that's the prostate. You should explain to people, because this is a nationwide, fabulous test that you expect millions of people to take.
Exactly. So you can just imagine that there are 30 million PSAs done on men every year in the United States, of which approximately 4 million are elevated. Now, every one of those is a candidate to have a 4K score test done on to confirm the importance of the elevated PSA. And with a positive 4K score, you then can evaluate whether or not you want to go on to a biopsy, which might have been done in any case if you had relied on the PSA alone. Now, with this 4K score, it has been shown in over 10,000 men over a 12-year period with 10 publications in peer-reviewed journals that you can eliminate approximately 50% of the biopsies with all the attending side effects such as infection and bleeding and worse. And the cost of the healthcare system is certainly about to benefit from all of this. So this is an important test, and the BioReference acquisition with their 400 salesmen who will not only call on urologists, as we're presently doing, but will call on primary care physicians to widely increase the range of physicians who will have access to the test.
Dr. I mean, what I also think that we hear from a lot of companies that say, look, if we had the data from labs, we would do much better. And we hear from a lot of the biotechs saying, look, we need genomic medicine. We need personal genomic medicine. BioReference is one of these companies that does it.
Well, now that you mention that, I should say that 25% of the revenues of BioReference Laboratories come from the genomic testing, and they have the largest menu of tests for rare diseases in the whole industry. And with the 25% of the revenues that part represents, it's still growing rapidly. So that part of the business is in its infancy. It's a very sophisticated business because they have been accumulating very valuable data on over 250,000 tests and 125,000 patients. And that data will be important for other companies, drug companies, that are interested in using it to identify targets for new drugs, as well as to help diagnose rare diseases.
All right, Dr. Frost, let me just ask you, as we're running short of time. You were a huge buyer of your stock much lower. You've been a buyer stock. Is this level intriguing to you as a personal investor? Because that's what I followed you as all my career.
I am very happy to continue my investment program in Opko. I have always been a believer in investing in the stocks with which I'm connected, because it's hard for me to imagine asking other people to invest when I don't myself.
All right, and have you been buying at this level?
Absolutely. As recently as yesterday.
Wow. All right. Well, look, I think you made a compelling case. I thought it was a brilliant acquisition myself. I knew the stock went up and then went down again. But anyway, Dr. Frost, thank you so much for coming on to Mad Money.
My pleasure.
All right, that's Dr. Phillip Frost, the chairman and CEO of Opko Health. He remains a believer. I think the stock is way overpunished given the synergies between BioReference and Opko. Stay with Cramer. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.